The 2025 NFL League year is officially underway, and while the madness of free agency is sweeping through the league like a tidal wave, the Miami Dolphins have been busy making some of their own moves. The first official announcements out of South Florida, not a big-name splash, not a jaw-dropping blockbuster. Instead, a series of under-the-radar, calculated decisions aimed at reinforcing the core of this team. 4 re-signings, for names that might not dominate headlines, but could play a bigger role than many expect. Jackson Carman, D. Eskridge, Quentin Bell, Elijah Campbell, and let's not forget defensive tackle Matt Dickerson, who also secured his return before things even got rolling. Then, there's the reported 2-year deal for linebacker Tyrel Dodson, still awaiting the team's stamp of confirmation, but very much in the mix. But let's cut through the noise and get to the heart of it. What do these moves actually mean for the Dolphins moving forward? Is this front office doubling down on depth and familiarity? Or is this just the appetizer before a bigger main course? You remember the moment. Week 15. Houston Texans. The Dolphins' offensive line, already bruised, battered, and duct-taped together, was without Taron Armstead and Kendall Lamb. Austin Jackson, already on IR, entered Jackson Carman, thrust into the fire at tackle, a position he wasn't really brought into play. And well, it went about as well as you'd expect. But here's the thing. Miami's front office doesn't seem to see Carman as a tackle. That much was made clear when GM Chris Grier spoke at the end of last season. The real plan? Carman at guard. It makes sense. The guy has the raw talent. He was a second-round pick for a reason. But consistency, that's where the doubts creep in. Let's be honest. Carman is in prove-it-or-lose-it territory. This isn't a guaranteed roster spot. This isn't a lock for the starting 5. He's here to battle. And if Miami brings in more competition on the interior offensive line, which they absolutely should, he's going to have to earn his place in training camp. Wide receiver depth. It's a phrase that's been thrown around Miami like confetti at a parade. We all know who sits at the top. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. No-brainers. But after that, that's where things get murky. Eskridge is back, and sure, the numbers from last season don't exactly scream game-changer. 3 catches in 6 games. A handful of kick returns. A name that barely made a dent in the box score. But let's not forget, he's got speed. He's got experience. And he's got something to prove. Still, making this roster won't be a walk in the park. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine was brought in. Malik Washington turned heads in 2024 as a rookie. Taj Washington is hungry. And then there's the inevitable camp battles with whoever else Miami brings in. If Eskridge is going to stick, he has to do more than just be there. He has to stand out. Some names are easy to overlook, but Quentin Bell quietly played all 17 games last season, starting 3 of them. That's no small feat for a guy who wasn't even tendered as a restricted free agent. Miami could have let him walk. They didn't. That alone speaks volumes. The challenge. This Dolphins outside linebacker room is no joke. Chop Robinson, first-round pick, explosive potential. Jaylon Phillips and Bradley Chubb, when healthy, a terrifying duo. Cameron Good, a developing piece. Mohamed Kamara, a 5th-rounder with upside. So where does Bell fit into all of this? The answer, special teams. Depth. Versatility. Bell doesn't need to be a star. He needs to be reliable. Miami is banking on him to be that kind of guy again. Of all the names brought back, Elijah Campbell is the one who feels like a lock for the 53-man roster. Why? Because he does everything. Special teams. Depth in the secondary. A presence in the locker room. Campbell isn't going to be a pro bowler. He isn't going to be the reason Miami wins or loses a game. But guys like him, they're glue pieces. They're the ones that hold everything together when injuries strike, when plans change, when chaos inevitably hits. That's why he's here. That's why he's staying. Then there's Tyrel Dodson, a name that popped up Wednesday morning with reports of a 2-year deal. But no official confirmation. Not yet. Dodson isn't a splashy signing, but he's the kind of linebacker Miami needs. Depth. Physicality. Someone who can rotate in and play tough against the run. The Dolphins are looking for answers in the middle of that defense. Maybe Dodson is part of a solution. Maybe he's just another body. That's what we're waiting to find out. It's easy to look at these moves and shrug. None of them are headline-stealing, jersey-selling, league-shaking transactions. But that doesn't mean they don't matter.